Oh man, does it feel good to be in a hoodie, y'all? This is the first time I've wore a hoodie in like 6 months. Seasons are changing and it has got everybody switching gears, thinking about the fall and winter time, right? Myself included. So with changing of seasons, here we go. We're looking into that hunting, trapping kind of season. So what I want to concentrate on today's video is talking about the fur market forecast, my prediction, just kind of, different things that's going into this season, the 2020-2021 season, right? So obviously, we've been on a downtrend the last few years with fur, as well as now we've got this whole, global pandemic thing going on. But that being said, Fur Harvesters had an auction a couple weeks ago and they posted the results publicly now. So I thought it'd be neat. We can kind of go through, we can look at these results, talk about them, give you guys my kind of predictions. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. We can kind of talk about this, going into it. So basically, now that NAFA has closed the doors, basically there's 3 good options this year for selling your fur, right? We've got Fur Harvesters, we've got Groenewalds, and then you have your local buyers, right? So looking into this, we're gonna look at these results from the Fur Harvesters, which is an auction house, right? They're gonna be the big main auction house this season if you want to send your fur to auction. Groenewalds is another big player in the fur industry now. They always have been, but now everybody's kind of stepping up to take that void that was made whenever NAFA filed bankruptcy. So Groenewalds, they're gonna, from my understanding, right, they're gonna expand their fur routes, go a little further south and just kind of cover more ground. Now that place there, they're gonna pay you on the spot for your fur. So that's the second option. And then your third option is, of course, your local buyers. So we're going to look at these results here from the auction houses, right? And now traditionally, and I say this in a very general term, traditionally your better prices will come from your auction houses, right? Now that being said, I've had fur up at auction houses for upwards of 2.5 years waiting on it to be sold. So if you're the kind of guy that wants that instant gratification, wants that check right then, you may look at places like Groenewald. They'll write you a check right at the trailer, or your local buyer as well. But anyway, now that we're starting to kind of get into the season, let's take a look, and I'll post the results from this. This is the results that are from the Fur Harvesters auction there, and it went on just a couple weeks ago, right? So you guys can kind of follow along with me. So obviously, fur's been in a downtrend for the last couple of years. Everybody knows that, right? So let's just take a look at a couple of these categories, right? First one, beaver. 80,000 of them offered. That's not really a big number in the whole spectrum of things. Large, mainly unsold, right? Now, if you're new, you can look at the tops and you're like, oh, $64. Yep. Realize this, that whenever you see those top results, that is usually less than 10 pelts out of the whole category that go into that top lot or first lot, right? What you really need to be looking at is the average, right? So the average right now for the beaver, is $13, which, considering they only sold 25%, it would be the upper 25% that's not very good. What I would look at is the caster prices, right? Due to the fact that nobody's trapping beavers and, that fur's been on a down, caster is actually going up, right? So you can look at the select caster, $110 a pound, $100 a pound, $90 a pound. Those are really good prices for caster. So, you may consider doing that this year. I always try to wait a little later in the season, let the caster, get closer to the mating season. The caster seems to be fuller at that time. Just my past experience. We'll look at the muskrats next. 56% of them sold, 140,000 offered. That is a super low number offered, but an average of $2.50, a high of $6. So that's very comparable to what it has been the last couple of years. $2 for a muskrat, that's about what you're gonna look at selling to the auction houses. Minks, we're looking at, there were 30,000 of them, mainly unsold. And you're gonna see a pattern here in this auction where the good portion of all this fur was unsold. That means there's nobody buying fur right now, which we'll talk about that too. Sable, which is marten, You know, you can look at a $20 average. That's a very low average for marten. 56% of those sold. Otter, which has been low for a number of years, there were only 9,000 offered. Selective buying, that basically means they didn't buy very many. $15 average. So, sorry guys, fall allergies are killing me right now, but anyway, Fisher mainly unsold. Lynx, which is essentially your northern bobcat, 7,000 offers, 33% sold, an average of $42. That's a very low average. Lynx cat, which is, you know, your bobcat basically. Western mainly unsold, which is your high dollar cats. Only 15% of them sold, and the average was $154, a high of $560. What that means is basically the top few lots sold. Bobcats, mainly unsold. We'll go down here to kind of our Midwest bread and butter here. We've got Raccoons, 182,000 offered. That's a super low number, but they were mainly unsold, right? So that's pretty disappointing if you're looking at that, because they're not selling even the, you know, the cream of the crop basically, right? Red fox, same thing, mainly unsold. Cross fox, they did sell a few, but there was only 380 offered, right? White fox, that's your Arctic fox. Silver fox, these are kind of like your very top of the line prime. They did sell. Silver fox obviously sold. Coyotes, let's look at coyotes. Everybody wants to know about coyotes. So understand this, right? Whenever you see a high or a high average, right? So top coyote sold for 220 bucks. There's probably only 3 or 4 in that lot that sold for that. So the Western heavies, the average was $77, right? Now that average should be 120, 130 bucks, right? And those are your top line coyotes. I will never have a coyote that will grade out Western heavy. Mine are always Eastern or Centrals, right? Which, as you guys can see, is of the lowest category and mainly unsold, right? There were only 76,000 offered, which is not a very big number, right? But you know, going into this, so let's just look and stop right there, because after that we're kind of getting into our possums and skunks and different things like that. That's kind of the cream of the crop. Bread and butter, what we're all going to be trapping. Mainly unsold, right? What's that mean? That means with seasons coming up, if there was a year to wait and trap prime fur, it's going to be this year, right? Obviously you can see at the, you know, the big auction houses, mainly unsold. I guarantee you the stuff that wasn't prime or the damaged goods, they will not sell if they even have value this year. So if you can, if you're the guy that can push off your vacation another couple of weeks, if you want to wait just an extra couple of weeks to make sure that fur is prime, this will be the year to do it. You know, this is just kind of a trend that we've been seeing the last couple of years, and by looking at these auction results, it is very apparent. So, you know, go down through Timberwolf, Wolverine, you know, those are kind of specialty markets anyway. Grizzly bear, skunk. Skunks usually sell just because of a novelty market. Obviously there was only 1,700 of them offered, $3 average, so, you know, take that for what it's worth. Possums, mainly unsold. I did hear a rumor from Gronwald that he did sell a few possums, so they may actually be buying them. They haven't bought them in several years. That being said, you know, expect just a couple of bucks for them, maybe, if you do. And then we've got badger, squirrels, weasels, you know, all those sold for very low numbers, and there weren't a lot of them offered. So anyway, these are just the auction results that's happened within the last couple of weeks, guys. So that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. It's kind of relevant, you know, going into the season. So as you can see, you know, for the most part, the offerings were mainly unsold, which tells me a couple of things, right? Prices are going to generally be lower again this year. Everybody's looking into coyotes, right? So understand this with coyotes. Unless you're out west with them super silky white heavy coyotes, don't be expected to get, you know, anything, you know, you're looking at a teen to 20 average for coyotes, right? Another rumor that I've heard is that Canada Goose, which is the maker of the big fluffy down, you know, big down parkas and coats, I had heard a rumor that the trim, the ruff on their hoods, which is Western coyotes, they may may not be using those anymore. Now, that was just a rumor. I looked at their website right before making this video, and they still are offering those coats with that coyote trim fur. So that may have just been a rumor, but you know, for the last few years, they have been a decent player in the buying of those high dollar coyotes. So, you know, it's kind of all speculation going into it. I'm just kind of sharing you what I've heard coming down the rumor mill, and then obviously these auction results. So just something to think about going into this season here. I can assure you I will be trapping, but I will be waiting till the fur is prime. We're going to go into that in future videos here coming up, talking about different things like that. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you guys my views here on the upcoming season. Like I said, don't be expecting anything great, and if at all possible, you know, kind of wait for a little later in the season. Remember, fur primes up due to daylight, not to cold. So just because it's been cold doesn't mean your fur will be prime. You know, usually the two kind of go hand in hand, but you know, if you could wait an extra week or two, you know, you might consider doing that. Our season here in Illinois starts November 10th. And generally, you know, within a week or two of the start of the season, our fur is usually getting pretty primed up, with the exception of water critters. That usually goes into December. But anyway, just my simple thoughts here from just a general guy here, just kind of looking at auction results, and I figured I'd share with it, share the, you know, my views and different things with you guys. I will leave a link below to Fur Harvester's website. If you want to check out these results in person, you know, if you didn't get what you wanted to out of this screen here. Anyway, guys, real quick video. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got a bunch of videos coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new to trapping and want to see some more of it this winter, consider subscribing if you're not already to this channel. And as always, guys, I appreciate the view, and we'll see you guys next time.